Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another Scrap Your Scraps Thursday night. You're with Crafty Chris, and tonight I am going to make some scrap paper, like paper with scraps. And I have been loving this new line just because of the colors. And so what I did is I went through my scraps. I had some old paper samples. And I had strips that I've been cutting off of paper and whatnot. And I went through and I kind of just matched the colors to what I thought was in the product and pulled out a whole bunch of things to use. So we are going to use a scrap piece of 12 by 12 paper. It's an old paper pack insert. And I'm just going to measure to make sure that it is 12 by 12. Oops, get my tape out of the way there. It is 12 by 12 and a quarter. Actually 12 and 3/8. So let's fix that right off the bat. Get the cutter out. Get our arm. And make sure our paper's 12 by 12. Especially if it's from the inside of packaging, because sometimes they are a little bit larger. Okay, and we're just going to take that strip off. Okay, now we're 12 by 12. So the idea here is to use 3/4 inch strips. So what I did, let me just kind of explain my thinking here. So I have two different widths of cardstock, and the difference is that between them is 3/4 of an inch. So in order for me to mix these two together and end up with some semblance of balance, I have strips that are at least 3/4 of an inch, and some I think might even be a full inch, that I can cut down to 3/4 of an inch to bridge the gap between the two types of paper. So another thing that I want to do is to separate them into their colorways. So I got light brown, dark brown, orange. I have blues. I have kind of white with blue. I have craft. I have yellows. I have greens. I have oranges, oranges, oranges. I have beige and blues. So I'm just kind of spreading them all out so I can see what I have to work with. And you can't see it, it's off camera, but I can see it. And that's the fun thing. So those are my strips. And here I'm going to do sort of the same thing. So I've got yellow, yellow, blue, beige, light brown, light brown. Actually, that's more like craft. So I'll put that to the side. Dark brown, green, blues, blues. I don't know if I'll use these blues, but they kind of went into the color line without being too obviously not right. If you know what I mean. All right. And these are all different kinds of paper types as well, so that'll make texture interesting. And these guys are foiled craft, so I'm going to keep the crafts all together. All right, again, I'm just going to put them to the side. I don't have a clear idea what my plan is for tonight. I did think that I wanted to sort of have different colors going across the page. If I can get 2 pages like in a V, that would be ultimate. But if not, that's fine too. I'll just do single pages with these. And I think I want to start with I don't know what I want to start with. What are we going to start with? Let's start with blues. Look, there's a blue over here. So I don't want to get trapped into having the same colors So I'm just going to throw these blues out there. Actually, I should really take that bottom piece off, shouldn't I? Let me do that with my little trimmer. So I'm going to remove the bottom holes. Okay, so I have all my pieces trimmed down now, and some of them have printing on them, so I'm just going to use the opposite side. I'm not going to worry about whether there's a pattern on the front or the back or whatever. Okay, so my plan is to sort of randomly throw colors and kind of like make some sort of a pattern. Maybe we can put that there. I may not need all of these. Now, if I use this, I have to make sure that the other colors are going to be on that line are going to be the same size. And I'm not even sure I'm going to use that because that seems a bit like the wrong blue. Yeah. So let's see if we have something that's more blue that I can compare it to. There we go. Yeah, it's a bit off. So this one's coming out right off the bat. So I don't have to worry about odd colors. All right. And I kind of vetted these to begin with. So now I've got a lot of blue on here, but not a lot of room for other things. But let's see how this plays out. So I could have an orange there, an orange here, a bit of an orange here. So I'm going to be trying to put things together sort of like this. A little bit of orange there. Maybe some of that orange can go down here, over there. Don't want to cut anything just yet. Let's throw in some yellow. Yellow can kind of go in between things, I think. So we'll put a yellow there. And I'm not liking that blue. That's too pale for me. So that one's out of the picture, which actually opens up a spot there, which is beautiful. Now I have to remember that things are going to go side by side. And if possible, so if I do something like this, and then I throw in one of these. Ooh, that's crazy, right? Maybe I'll throw it in right here. Don't really want those to line up. Want to have some shifting happening. Maybe I'll do that. Then I have to remember I've got to squeeze a bit of something in there. Do you see how I'm sort of just playing around, spreading the wealth of color? So some of this green can fill in that spot. So I'm going to leave these two for now. Now, I just remembered I want to try and do 2 pages. So I'm going to need a couple of these blues. So I have 3 blues here, I have 3 blues on here. I have 4 greens, so I need to take a green off. I'm going to throw a brown in. Now, I am going to keep 1 brown, and I'm going to use a part of a brown on here. So that other part of brown is going to go with this pile. Let's use the big ones here somewhere. There we go. something like that. This one I want to put down here. I think I want to switch out one of these because I want a couple of big ones on the other page, so the technique goes on each page. And I could take half of it for this page and half of it for the other page. And we'll just see how it plays out. I may not need them all. That blocks that. Now I have all kinds of pieces left over, so I might shift everything so that the top point at least fits on that side, and that'll give me enough probably for the other side. This is where it gets tricky, spreading everything out. Okay, let's just see what we can add in here. Or do I want it solid blue? See, these are all the decisions you have to make. And it's only going to be as long as these pieces. These guys are 4 5/8, and these guys are 4 3/8. Maybe I'll do these 4 5/8. Do I like that? Maybe. And this center strip could be yellow. Okay, I think I'm going to get started. I'm liking the balance of this. It's kind of fun and funky. This we'll put over there. I think, do I want that blue there? Or do I want the white there? See, this white has some of the blue in it and some of the yellow in it, but it's considerably lighter than everything else, so I think I'll wait on that. I kind of like the pattern. So let's solve the problem by putting this here. And I like the yellow going down the center there. And maybe we'll put those two guys there and this here. Then there's two oranges together. How about I take this out, put that orange there, and that green there. Yeah, there we go. And then we'll play with the others that are sitting around. Okay, I'm taking a picture. You got to take a picture for this so that you can remember what you were doing. Put those back because it's giving me a shadow. Okay, just going to set that right there so I can, okay. Now I have it exactly how I want it. Okay, we're going to start with the bottom. Now, I'm a big kind of fan of things being symmetrical. So if I put this up here, and I have this at the corner, I want to try to make sure that it's on an angle that's kind of like, what do you say, 45-degree angle maybe? Or is that 60? So 90 is that way, 45 is that way, so this is about a 60-degree angle. And I'm just going to stick this down with regular tape. So I am doing, okay, so I want it to go right up to these places. There we go. And I'll trim back anything that hangs over. Put you down there. Put you down there. Start off. Okay, I gotta stick the paper down because it's moving too much. Just till I get that first one placed. Okay, so I want it. All right, so there's the first piece down. Now I can get rid of these guys. And now I can put the next two pieces down. And I'm going to put them a little bit further up from each other. So I'm going to put this one here. And this one here. So this is going to go around there. And then this one should fit right in there. I'll go right over top. I won't even bother cutting. It's all coming together. And then this one is going to, that's just a bit short of that corner. That'll be all right. I want to have a little bit of that in there. The green goes underneath. And we're going to have orange and green. So I'm going to put the orange on there first, or yellow on there first. And then the green is going to pop over top of that, right up against that. I had beige at the bottom. So I need to put just a little more adhesive there. Okay, and then up at the top, we have our chocolate brown. Then we move on to stars. We're going to have stars. Okay, now we can cut some things off this side and move them to the other side. So I'm using my, oh, I can use my extra long scissors for this. I got these awesome shears, and they're meant for nice long cuts. So we now have these little bits that we can use. So we have this so far, and I need to put a little bit on here. So green and yellow, feels like I should be putting a blue, but I don't have a big enough blue piece. So let's see. We have a big enough brown piece, so that's going to go there. And what's missing in this corner? We have blues, greens. We could use some orange, but I don't think I have a big enough orange piece, which I don't. Okay. I don't want green in there. How's this blue? Still not big enough. Still not big enough, so I'm going to stick him down here. There we go. What else do we have that we can play with? I can put this along there, and I can I stick that in there? I can stick that in. Oh, it's just a little too short. However, if I turn it around, it might work. Nope. So I'm going to lift this up again. I'm going to put the yellow down. Make sure I have enough tape there. And now we can put the orange in there. finish that corner. And maybe just a bit of, I can use some blue, but that's the same kind of blue. I think I need just a little corner of green down here. Missed the paper altogether. There we go. Stick a little bit of green. Put it on that side. All right. And then what am I going to put up there? I can put some chocolate brown up there. And that's one page done. Just using a slightly shorter scissor because I have some open gaps. There is the finished piece. It doesn't really matter which way I put it. I can play with that later. Interesting. Look at that. Very nice. And if I look at my papers that I was coordinating with, I think I got the colors right. This is not really colorful. But I think I've got the lemony color in there, and I've got the oranges in there. Yeah, I think I'm very happy with that coordinating paper. Okay, so now we have to make another one. So we have a 2-page layout to start. And we're going to use the same technique. But what I want to do is make a decision about what direction it's going in, and so I have more colors that I can play with. I may not have enough colors, but I can use my long strips. Okay, and again, I have to trim this. So before I make any decisions, I'm going to lay it out like I did the last one. What have I got going here? First of all, I'm going to look at my little pieces. These are all my bigger pieces. So I can actually have this come from there, and I have enough of that to go there. Like I said, if it doesn't all play out nicely, then all I'll do is just switch it out. Now, I don't think I have any of that leopard anymore. I've used that on both sides of the page, but I do have a different kind of one that I can use. Actually, I think I'll use this one. That can go from there. Just kind of mapping this out. And I've got yellows here. So this yellow, that was a big yellow. So I can, that was a big yellow going that way. So that would go over there. No, I think I won't do that. That freaks me out a little. Okay, so that can go there, that can go there. This can go here. And see, that's not big enough. So this is something I did not think about. How is that going to play out? Can't really get that to be the same. There we go, something like that. And then this can go over there like that. But then it's covering that over. I don't like that. Okay, not using that till later. Can't use that either. Just going to try a flip. So what if I did it this way? So far, that's kind of working. Yes, it will work. Look at that. Isn't that crazy. So that's my transition, and then I've got some brown I can put down here. I can just trim this off so the brown ends here, and then could try to follow the pattern. That might be a little bit crazy. Let's see if that's even possible. I don't have enough orange, so that's where we run into trouble there, but let's see. It's not going to be exactly the same, but I think I'm okay with that. So I have more of this that can go up that way to make that match. I have another one of these, and I need a strip of some kind of color. It feels like it might be a bit dark. I don't know if I'm gonna like that. I feel like I need to go a different way. This can go here. We're squeezing it out, folks. Have some of that green I can maybe pot there, but that won't be the right color for in that corner, will it? Then I need a wide piece for there. You know what? I think I can fudge this. Oh look, there's a nice wide piece. Let's see how that fits in. No, same problem. Well, I'm going to play with it. I am totally going to play with it. So I'm going to take a picture of what I got so far. All right, so we're going to start with the beginning pieces. And then we can figure out all the rest after. Okay, so we're going to start up here. I am going to line these two up so that I can get my paper pieces in the right place. So this one is going to have to go in this direction. All right. And there's that one, then there's that one, and I think then there's that one. Yes. And this one goes underneath. So make sure my edges are touching and they're lined up. And I need to tape them down so they don't wiggle until I get that first piece on. So I need this to stay still. I need this to stay still. And I need these guys to match and stay still. There we go. Okay, and now so this one is going to go right along that one, touching the bottom. There we go. And then this one is going to go right beside it up to the cut line so that I can actually tape myself. Oops, I have to move this over because it's got to match at the bottom and the top. There we go. And this has to be moved over as well so that it crosses. There we go. Alrighty. And then this one, for all intents and purposes, should match. So this is the intense part because I've got to get this lined up exactly right. And so this one still seems to be too high. That took a minute. All right. And then this goes down here. And then my next color after the yellow is this guy here. And he should just fit in right there. Going up. And then this one will fit along the top. Let me get rid of this so I don't get this more in the camera. Okay, so that's done. And now we can finish this off. This one had this guy up there, right there. Okay, perfect. Beautiful. All right. Now we can work at getting all the bits and pieces together. Okay, starting at the bottom, we want the orange to be next with this. This is scrap paper. I could remove just the amount I need, but it's scrap. So I have more than enough scrap. Okay, I'm going to switch that out with this one. And this is going to go here, but this has to go in first. Then we have this guy. That fits in there perfectly. Okay, now above the green here, I have beige. I haven't done that yet, so that's fine. Then we go down to the orange, and the next thing on the orange was this brown. It's very similar to that though. So I think I'm going to change it and lighten it up to this brown. Then above that was beige again. And I'm not sure if I want to do that, so I'm going to wait. Then beside this one was a little piece of this. Back down to the bottom again. Here we have this piece of blue that's going to go in here. It's actually going to tuck underneath. That's not good. I just put the tape on the wrong side. So now we have to be very careful not to destroy the surface. It's okay if there's glue left over because you can get that off with a glue eraser, but if you scrape the surface, it leaves an indent. So you want to be careful not to do that. There we go. And a little glue eraser erases anything else that's there. Now, gluing on the right side, or the correct side, and then down here we have green, and green is going to go over top just like that. We want it to cover the blue. Now, after that we have this light blue that we're going to pop in there. This in here. I don't want it to line up. Oh, I don't think I have a choice. So we'll just finish this off. All right, what we have left, this is not going to help us with anything. Help us with green there. That might be okay for that. I'm going to, before I start doing these little bits, we're going to trim off again. Love these scissors. So now we can finish up a few things here. I don't want that green in there, but I can put that beige in there. It's not very exciting though, is it? Maybe I should put the green in there. And then what am I going to put there? Ooh, put some of this there. Not really. It has to go across the whole thing. And that would be the one, but it's not big enough. What about this one? Oh, now that's lucky. That is just plain luck. You gotta play around until you get the right piece. So that's gonna go there, so that's perfect. I think I'm happy. I think I'm happy. That's just crazy that it fits. I'm gonna stick it under here. And I think that's everything. Perfect. So these are little tiny bits to trim. Use my tinier scissors. Should probably put a tiny dab of glue under there because it's not got anything to stick to. All right. So I'm just going to push all this stuff out of my way so that I can show you the finished two backgrounds. Not the layout, but the backgrounds for a layout. So here is one side, and here is, might have to lift up everything to get the two pages together. And there is the double page background. Oh my gosh, I love it! Inspired by these guys. This one, that one, that one. I think I did pretty good with the colors. These are all the colors. Now, to minimize the craziness of the background is fun. So what I intend to do is use a fair number of mats for both the sayings that I put on here, like the titles and whatnot, and I'm going to be matting everything so that it does, and pop dotting so things stay up above the page. So they raise themselves above the page and they are surrounded by a solid color so that they are anchored. But I love how this turned out. Anyway, that's it for me tonight. I think I can post an image in the comments of the YouTube channel. So check back in a couple of weeks or so. I don't know when I'm actually going to do this layout, but it will be in the next few months. And you, if you're subscribed, will get a notification when I add a post there. I hope you enjoyed tonight's project. And if you did, please share it with your friends and encourage your friends to subscribe to my channel. And I will see you next Thursday. Bye.